we decided that I would pick up Dwayne and he'd ride with me to start with. Lee would gas up in Sutherland and meet up with us at the Dairy Queen. He had packed his rapid radios and left a couple of them with us so we could stay in touch en route. We had pretty good cell service for the most part, wherever we went, and the radios worked out real well. Our first stop was Salt Creek Falls, just up the Willamette River from Oak Ridge. It's a very short hike from the parking lot to the overlook. We had considered taking the scenic route up the Cascade Lakes National Scenic Byway and camp at Sparks Lake at the base of Mount Bachelor the first night. Just before we left, however, we found out that the road had just opened for the season and many trailheads and campgrounds were still snowed in. So we took the faster route to Prineville Reservoir through Bend, Powell Butte, and Prineville.
Almost all my medications with me.
Perfect. I had read that one could obtain a free pass from Oregon State Park Service that would allow us to stay for free overnight in the day use area to do astrophotography. We timed it perfectly and found a couple of park rangers who issued us passes, and by 10 o'clock all the fishermen and picnickers had left, and we enjoyed a quiet night next to the lake. Day 2, and God is smiling on me. We got day use passes for the night. I was able to shoot the holy grail of time lapses, and I woke up in time to get a good time lapse of the sun rising on the crags across the lake. We had smoothies and muffins for breakfast, along with a couple cups of coffee, with some of Lee's special creamer mixed in. Droner was in charge of guarding camp and kept all the would-be thieves at bay. We gassed up in Prineville, then hit the road for a short drive to Brennan Palisades. Only a couple miles up the road is Steen's Pillar. It was named after U.S. Army Major Enoch Steen, who fought and drove the Paiutes off the mountains east of French Glen. Somebody got the spelling of his name wrong for this pillar, and it stuck. I parked near a wide intersection I knew I could turn around in, while Lee ventured further up the road for a better vantage point.
Well, partner, how'd it go? How'd you do?
Some crazy guy come flying over the top of me of a drone.
Next stop, the Painted Hills near Mitchell, Oregon. It's part of the vast John Day Fossil Beds National Monument. Although it takes a light rain to make the colors of the hills more vivid, it's an impressive place anytime. We ate our lunch there at the Interpretive Center.
Like Dave was saying, after rain or something, it's a lot more colorful. I remember that the last time I was here. There were just a lot more colors and hues and a richness to it.
We spent the rest of the afternoon driving along the John Day River toward the town of Fossil, looking for just the right place to camp for the night. By chance, we stumbled across a little city park on the river in the town of Spray. Dwayne sprung for the camping fee, and we enjoyed the first cleansing since leaving home.
You can do it.
Come on, Dwayne, man up.
He did.
Woohoo!
I grilled some hot dogs for dinner, which we slathered with the special mustard I had bought in Langlois the previous week. Lee shared some 3-bean salad, and we washed it all down with cold beer. I got a pretty good night's sleep beside the peaceful river, especially after getting up and down the night before so many times to monitor my Milky Way time-lapse. The temperature yesterday was in the 90s, cooling down to the 60s overnight, and we slept with the screen door and the windows wide open. From Wikipedia, I learned that the John Day River is approximately 284 miles long and is known as the Maha River by the Cayuse people, and maybe by RFK Jr. From rivers.gov, I read, the John Day River is the longest undammed river in Oregon. The section from Service Creek to Tumwater Falls flows through a number of colorful canyons, broad valleys, and breathtaking terrain. This segment offers exceptional steelhead and warm water bass fishing, calm water boating punctuated with a few rapids, and locations of archaeological, historical, and paleontological interest. A group of rafters outfitted their boats before dark last night and now sit waiting on the gravel bar in anticipation for their 3-day trip to Clarno. We broke camp and were on the road by 9 o'clock. One place we wanted to visit in Spray was Bob's Bar. Made from the top part of a grain silo, this establishment on the river caters to rafters and landlubbers alike. We knew it would be closed, but when we saw the door was open, we had to stop.
Oh, we gotta stop and say hi anyway.
Yeah, we open at 11 today.
Yeah, we figured as much. We're going to miss out. We were wanting to stay here, but we've got some photos anyway. You know, you're famous. We saw you online someplace. We said, boy, when we come by here, we got to stop in and have a beer.
Oh, good deal. Where are you guys headed?
Oh, we're heading to Maupin today and then down 97 back home to Roseburg.
Oh, okay.
Boy, this is quite a little establishment here. This is so
Thank you.
cool.
Yeah, it's going on 7 weeks old now.
Is
so-
that right?
Yeah.
And are you able to keep things rolling through the winter, or do you have to rely pretty much on the summer traffic?
I don't know. My daughter, she bought the pizza cart from me here this year, so she wants to keep it open in the wintertime. I'm going to put a big screen right here over the window and maybe do football games.
Oh,
in the
yeah.
wintertime.
Sports bar. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So,
Yeah.
see if I can make that work, and then it has a pellet stove in here, so it heats it up real quick. And these windows are the individual windows; you can snap them in or out, and then of course the barn doors roll closed. So
Oh, perfect.
you can keep the heat in if you really want to.
How fun. Well, best of luck to you.
Thank you
Good
so
to see you.
much.
Have a good day. Our plan for the day was to document the White River Falls up near Maupin. Our maps showed the best route was through Fossil, then south to Antelope, and then north. For the third time on this trip, I missed the turnoff. We ought to look a little bit around, do you think?
Well, I don't care. I'm not sure what we're doing. I'm just going on the right.
And we ended up taking the longer northern route up 216, otherwise known as the Shearer's Bridge Highway. It was all good though, because we got to see some old towns like Condon, where we stopped to fill up. Beautiful, colorful canyons, numerous wind farms, and the fishing platforms along the Deschutes River within the Warm Springs Indian Reservation. White River Falls was not quite as impressive as photos had led me to believe, and we didn't spend a lot of time there. Instead, we decided to head south to visit the Crooked River Canyon and Smith Rock before finding a campground. The canyon at P.S. Ogden Scenic Viewpoint is about 300 feet deep. Alongside Highway 97 in Terrebonne, the rest area provides plenty of parking, grassy areas with picnic tables, and accessible walkways up to the edge and to the pedestrian bridge that spans the chasm. If the wind hadn't been blowing so hard, Lee would have liked to fly his drone for an aerial view. Dwayne kindly stayed with Droner while Lee and I hiked in for the close-up view. Just up the road is Smith Rock State Park. We pulled in and hiked around a little to get some pictures before heading out towards Sisters and our campground for the night. We pulled into Indian Ford Campground at about 5 o'clock, sat around the picnic table. A little downtime from a long day of driving was in order. We heated up what was left of Dwayne's delish chicken soup and drank a couple beers. Dwayne built a campfire and impressed me and Lee with his Michael Jackson moves. We're homeward bound this morning, and we'll stop at a few points of interest along the way. The first is Subtle Lake. There was hardly anyone here this morning, just a lone fisherman as far as we could tell. We marveled at the reflection of Hoodoo Ski Bowl on the surface of the calm water. Next, we stopped at Clear Lake. The McKenzie River originates at Clear Lake in the Central Oregon Cascades and flows south and west through the Willamette National Forest. Clear Lake is fed by Ekanik Creek and Fish Lake Creek, the latter of which flows from Fish Lake. Dwayne rented a boat and took me on a short ride to document how this lake got its name. Perfect. Straight back. Little on your left side. There's one that's so close to the surface, I might even run into it. Kaboom.
Good thing we have life jackets.
Yeah. Perfect. We went right over the top of it. It was difficult for me to believe that the torrential falls and rapids below the lake could come from such a serene body of water, but apparently it does. Sahéli Falls being a good example. The access to this falls doesn't have room for our rigs to park, so we continued on a couple more miles to Coosaw Falls.
Money shot.
Go ahead, step right up.
The final stop on our journey was at the old Mackenzie Fish Hatchery, County Park in Walterville. There, we saw a huge sturgeon swimming lazily around a small pond. What is that?
That's a sturgeon. I go by the tail. I think.
And numerous trout of good
See, now they start
size.
competing. Here they come.
I ran back to the camper for a slice of bread and some cheese, and we enjoyed watching trout rise and splash as they went for the snacks.
Yeah, I've
Is
stopped.
it getting close to noon?
Oh yeah,
Is it? I'm gonna walk up there and feed Jonah then.
yeah. Oh, there, a big one came up and got that big chunk. I tore a piece of it off. Look at that.
Yeah,
There they go. Feeding frenzy.
feeding frenzy. It was a very enjoyable 4 days of travel, sightseeing, and photography. I saw plenty of places I'd like to spend more time at, and a few where my curiosity was satisfied. So, fellow travelers, until your next road trip, keep up the spirit of adventure and discovery.